Hi, Rabbit.
Hi, Snappsy.
How's it going?
I'm kind of gloomy.
Well, how come?
I've been inside all day.
Well, being inside's not too bad.
Really?
Yeah. You could do all types of fun projects.
Like what?
Like making something like me.
Oh, how do I do that?
Easy. I'll show you.
Hi everyone, this is Miss Angulo, your teacher. I am back with another video on a new art project. And today I decided to have you guys make these little paper roll animals. And I was inspired by the story called Snappsy the Alligator. Did not ask to be in this book. And that story is about an alligator. And he is, of course, an animal. And so I thought that would be a great story to go along with this project. So in this project, I'm going to be teaching you how to make an alligator using a paper roll in your house, something that you just have lying around that usually you throw away, but now you can use it for this craft. And we're going to make an alligator together. Now here I have an example of a bunny rabbit that I've created, and I just wanted to give you an example of what we're going to be doing with our alligator. So here I've used paper to cut out its face. I've used little bunny ears also, and I colored in with some crayon. Now for the hands and the feet, I've used a pipe cleaner and bent it so it curves to the size that I wanted the feet and the hands. And then on its whiskers, if you can see really closely, these are little pieces of a feather. And then the feather that I used for the back is its little bunny tail. And so I've just used my glue stick to add all these little details into this art project. So I'm going to teach you a little bit more about how to do the steps to make one of these. Now you can make any type of animal. You don't have to make the alligator that I'm going to show you how to make. But I wanted to use a reference for our story. So I'm going to be using Snappsy for our character for today. Alright?
These are all the materials you'll be needing for this activity.
The first material you will need to collect is a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll. The paper towel roll you can cut to make the right size you want for your animal. The second thing you will need is construction paper. Your construction paper can be any color that you want your animal to be. I chose green for my alligator and white for certain details of its body. The third thing you'll need is some wire so I can bend it however I want, and I chose to use this for the alligator's teeth. And if you don't have this type of wire at home, you can also use a little twisty top, which is usually found on grocery bags or things to close a plastic bag with. The fourth thing you'll need is a pipe cleaner. Now I'm going to use the pipe cleaner for my alligator's feet. If you don't have pipe cleaners at home, you can use just paper. Fifth thing you'll need is a piece of ribbon, and I wanted to use some sort of fabric to represent his tie he's wearing. Sixth thing you'll need is a piece of fabric. So if you have fabric at home that you don't mind cutting up, maybe it's an old t-shirt or an old rag, you can cut that into strips, and I'm going to use not this side but the back side because it's all white. The seventh thing you'll need is a glue stick. So a glue stick is really helpful for posting anything onto your animal, and it's really easy. If you don't have glue stick at home, you can also use tape. The eighth thing you'll need is a pencil to draw all your details on your animal's face. Also color pencils to maybe add eyeballs to your animal, or crayons or markers, whatever colors you have at home to make your animal even more colorful than it will be. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to craft my body. So taking my paper towel roll, I'm going to have to measure the circumference around my paper roll. So I'm gonna have to measure where I need to cut my green paper so that it meets all the areas around my paper roll. So I can go ahead and measure that with my pencil. Okay, so I'm gonna cut here. And now I'm gonna take my glue stick to glue just the inside, maybe like do one strip of glue here, and then you're gonna do one strip of glue on the edge, on the left edge of your paper. That way I can attach my paper to my roll in the center, and then I can go ahead and attach it to this side, pressing down, and then I'm going to stick some more glue on this side. Okay, and here I have a little bit paper sticking out here. I can go ahead and go back with my scissors and cut that off. So now I'm going to draw my head, and I want my head to be a good proportion to my body, so I have to make my head bigger than I think I need to. So here I'm just going to free draw my alligator's head. I'm also using a picture of my alligator to reference so that I know what parts of the body I need to add. And he also has like a little neck, so I also want to include his neck in here. So here's where I'm going to put his eyes. He also has little eyebrows. So I can go back in with my marker to draw his eyebrows. And then for his eyeballs, because they're white, I might cut out some white circles and then paste them into his head. So I'm going to do that first before I even cut this out. So I'm going to cut 2 small circles for his eyes. You have to make sure that they can fit onto his face. Now I have my eyeballs glued on, and I'm going to go ahead and draw with my marker the little eyeballs that are inside his eyes. So right here I notice he has these little nose holes, so I'm going to add those dots. I really like him, he looks great, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. If you have your pencil marks drawn in there and you don't like them, you can go ahead and erase some of your pencil marks. And so he has these little arms, and I also want to make my tail. So I'm going to draw a straight line and his fingers. He has 4 fingers. Make sure that his arms are long enough so you can attach them to his body. I'm also going to go ahead and draw my tail. So my tail can be any shape. It doesn't have to look exactly like this tail here, but I do like the way that it curves, so I'm going to draw his tail. Cut out his tail and both his arms. The hands might be a little hard to cut out. If you don't want to draw them with fingers, you can just draw hands that are circular. I'm cutting with my right hand, and I'm leading my paper with my left hand. So it helps me move my scissors in the direction they need to go. So here I have my tail, I have my arms, and all of his body parts are made except for his feet. So for the feet, I'm grabbing my pipe cleaner and I'm going to bend them, kind of like I did for my rabbit. I made little feet down here, and so I curved my pipe cleaner. I'm going to measure my second foot so that it's the same length. Now remember, if you don't have pipe cleaners at home, you can just make the feet out of construction paper and draw feet and cut them out. Now I'm going to take my feet and I'm going to glue them on. So for your pipe cleaner, you just want to add glue to one side, the back side, and just move it along there so that the back of it gets really good amount of glue. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick my feet on all the way at the bottom of my animal. And I'm going to bend this back a little bit so that my feet are actually straight. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, about this much here, and then I'm going to attach my arm wherever I want it to go. So I'm going to attach it about on the edge here so it can stick out. You can also bend your arms so that they stick out more. Okay, so there's my two arms. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my ribbon to make his tie and my fabric here. Okay, so this is going to be added onto the body of my alligator. So here is my fabric, and I'm going to cut a strip so that it can go all the way around. I want to make sure that it can go all the way around and it's perfect. It's a perfect size. So I'm going to cut this a little bit more neater. And now I'm going to add glue on the back. Make sure there's enough glue on the fabric because fabric can be tricky to glue on. Now I want to add on my tie. So I'm going to cut this tie so that it can fit. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it on the back side. So I'm going into the details of my character. And I want to make my wire so it looks like tiny teeth, bending just back and forth. Remember, if you don't want to use wire, you can use white paper to draw some teeth out and cut it out. I'm going to take my teeth, I'm going to flip over my alligator face, and instead of using glue, I'm going to use tape because the tape will actually hold my teeth much better. Alright, and now I have my alligator's teeth. They look really cool. And now the last step is to add the head and add the tail.